What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Heel Hookers podcast, episode 136. And we are back to talk to you all about a pretty alright event from Canada last night. Not too bad overall. Had some pretty good fights at the top of the card, mostly filled out with Canadian talent overall. That's usually how the UFC tends to do it. Definitely did better overall for Canada than I thought they were going to do going into it, so that was nice for them. But we will
get... What, 6-2?
Yep. Damn, yeah, I didn't even realize that they did that good.
Real good ratio.
Crazy. But before we get into all the good stuff, like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. We appreciate everyone that does. Let's go. We got Canada and fights to talk about. First, to get to the main event, the big fight of the night, the reason why we were all here. Motherfucking Brandon Moreno sending a Mexican to Canada. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But
Canadian card headlined by a Mexican and an Iraqi.
Yes. One of those things where you talk about, though, you got a good enough fight, don't matter where they're from.
Yeah,
exactly. Appreciate it, you know?
Realistically, what Canadian could they have headline the card?
Yeah,
no,
let's 100%. Be real.
No, 100%. I agree. It's like one of those things that at this point they can't really do that.
Nah, yeah.
But
either way, I love that they've been doing this.
Yeah.
Yes.
But former champ Brandon Moreno, he was back in this main event. He said that he wanted some time off after his last fight earlier this year in February. Obviously, you know, not the most time off since. But it was all that he needed.
Because I don't think it came down to needing the physical break as much as the mental break.
Yes.
He talked about it, not having the thought of a fight come up is just a big relief on your mental because you're not thinking about camp, you're not thinking about fighting, you're not thinking about your opponent. And like we mentioned in the last one, just hoping that it really rejuvenated him and gave him what he needed. Oh boy, did it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Vintage Moreno performance, just beautiful.
Yeah, because obviously there was a lot of questions on both sides heading into this one. Moreno, you know, just dropping 2 fights in a row to Pantoja and Royval, which the champion and number 1 guy in the world, no shame in that. But yeah, like we talked about in the last pod, just technically in everything, just really looking bad in the Royval fight. Did not look good at all for it. And then Albazi, he's been out for a while. He had a pull out of that Brandon Moreno fight earlier this year, is why Royval stepped in. He went through neck and heart surgery, having a whole bunch of stuff going on. So just a lot of questions on both sides. Wasn't exactly sure who was going to show up the best for him, but it was truly Brandon Moreno. It's not like Amir really looked bad in this one at all. It looked like the layoff might have been a bit too much for someone like him who had, like, you know, talking about it. He had a good win streak coming in, but then he only fought Kai Kara-France his one fight in the top of the division, which was a very close fight. Many people, including all of us, think that Kai should have gotten the decision. So it's like you have that one questionable win at the top. You're out for all of this time off of like some serious surgeries and all of that. And you're coming back to the former 2-time champion and Brandon Moreno. Like, that is a tough thing to do. And I feel like he really should have gotten a different fight back before coming into this one.
Probably. I feel like it made sense to an extent, like, because of the fact that Moreno coming off of the 2-fight skid is where it kind of made sense. But I do agree that it's like you had the close fight with Kai. You've been off for a year and change, coming off of 2 surgeries, because, like, for the reason you had to pull out back in February. He should have fought someone outside of the top 5.
Yeah.
No, yeah, 100%. Like, that's kind of thing. He had a lot. It did seem like he had a lot of ring rust. Just like he just didn't have that rhythm and timing. He wasn't able to get it, and he wasn't able to figure out Moreno's timing, his rhythm, like, and it just, like, it's one of those things where it is like you need to hone that skill with sparring, with actual fights and things like that. And being out for so long, especially for things like a neck surgery and a heart surgery, which I assume you're going to be out of training for a good chunk of change out of that.
Yeah.
That you're not going to be able to train the way you want to train, be able to train the way you need to be able to train. So more than likely that falls into it. I am really interested to see how Amir does come back after this fight, considering, like, he did start to pick it up in, like, that 4th and 5th round, like, actually, like, really starting to push himself for to do something, because he was just not able to get it in rounds 1 through 3.
No, yeah. Definitely the 4th round was his best round, in my opinion. I thought, like, you know, if because I'm pretty sure, I forget if it was 1 or 2 judges that gave it 50. 45, but then I think 2 judges, and then 1 judge gave it 49.
I thought you were going to say, I thought it was 1 or 2 that gave him 49, because I was going to say it was the 1 judge that gave him 49.
But yeah, so probably giving him that 4th round didn't look exactly, but yeah, it was just Moreno all night, man. His time, like you said, just Amir unable to get the timing, rhythm, anything going. Every time Moreno was like landing a good clean shot, it really looked like it was having an effect on Amir Albazi. There was about 4 or 5 times he was hurt bad in this one,
like visibly rocked.
Yeah, like 7 or 8 times, like just like he's hurt. And Moreno, just all the patience in the world, not going too far out in front of his skis, trying to get a finish early, just pressure, patience, and just a beautiful performance for Brandon Moreno to come back.
Yeah, because Amir couldn't even get any of the grappling off. He got 1 takedown on him that didn't last any time because Moreno was right back up on his feet. Like,
shot for 4, only got 1
with a total of 9 seconds of control time. Like,
and like you really saw Moreno like that first round was patient. It was a like fairly close round, even though we all thought Moreno won it, but it was a decently close round. And you really saw him build over the fight. 36 total strikes thrown, 67, 68, 70, 76 over the next 4 rounds. He was building throughout the whole fight because he found, all right, this is what Amir's going to be doing. This is what he's trying to do. All right, boom, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. The jabs were working beautifully. The left hooks were landing clean, getting some good consistent body work throughout there. Yeah, like it just...
Head movement was on point because
that was what I noticed immediately. The second the fight started, like I just had a feeling Brandon Moreno was gonna have a good night because just his movement, the way he went in there, his head started moving, he started flowing. I was like, oh, he looks like Brandon Moreno, like because that was the first thing I noticed in the Royval fight was he looked way more flat-footed, way more still. Just his movement wasn't there. He didn't look like him, you know. But this time I was like, Moreno's back.
Yeah.
It was just
100%.
So good to see, man. Exactly. I was just so worried with him after the last one. Just really wasn't sure how it was going to go, but absolutely beautiful. He said afterwards that he knows he might have to get one more fight before getting a title shot because Royval's right there. Kai Kara France is looking for his opportunity at a title shot. It's hard, you know. A lot of the guys have fought each other at the top of 125, especially. Where would you guys like to see Brandon Moreno go next into a fight?
It is so rough to call because it's like now he has fought everyone in the top 5 except for Tatsuda Taira. Taira coming off of that loss to Royval, I would really love to see him take a step back and act like, because I don't want to see either of them lose right now, which is obviously always like kind of a factor with that. But like, I do think that Taira needs a step back. He needs to build confidence. He needs to build his resume, build experience in the top of the division. Everything, you know. So going into former champion Moreno, who he doesn't need that fight. So it's kind of hard because then it's like you're going down. It's like, okay, Alex Perez is obviously injured. There's Asu Almabayev coming up, but it's just another one of those things where it's just we have a contender coming up. Why kill him off by being like, hey, you want to fight Moreno? Yeah. You know, like it's super rough.
I was about to say, I personally, I think it should be one of 2 fights. It should either be Kai Kara France 2, because there has been enough time. 3. Well, was the first one the Ultimate Fighter?
The first one he got a UD in 2019. The second time he got the finish 22. So,
I forgot they fought 2 times already. So Kai Kara France 3, or the loser of the flyweight top fight that's coming up, whether it be Pantoja or Kai Asakura. Especially if it's Kai Asakura, because at that point, Asakura, depending on how that fight goes, he could show, like, no, he belongs in the top 5 of the division anyway, and it's like, all right, well, Brandon Moreno needs another fight to get to a title shot, and, you know, give it to him, make it, and you make that work, because he does need another shot. Like, he's coming off 2-fight skid, just one is now on a 1-fight winning streak, so it's like he needs something. Yeah. So it's going to be one of the Kais, in my opinion.
I do like the idea of that assuming Kai loses, it's him in his next fight, because it just makes sense. Fresh matchup, needs that one more fight, you know?
Yep.
And it's like, I know it'd be a big step up, but I really wouldn't even mind if he fought a Sue either, honestly. Like, I know that it's like, just a real big step up, but it's just just we have new names in the division. They need their opportunities. It's like, yeah, it's going to suck
get it done.
if they lose, but it's one of those things where it's like...
There's no shame to losing to Brandon Moreno.
Exactly. Like, you have all these younger guys coming up, so it's like if they take, like, a loss, even if it's, like, a rough loss, like, obviously that can always suck for their career, but you're losing to one of the top guys. Yeah, the top guys are still young enough, you know, where they're going to be around for a bit, but it's like, it just, you know, they start getting those wins to get back into the title fights. It's like, it's going to get harder and harder for them to, like, if, like, yeah, Moreno, he beats Albazi, he beats Asu, goes back into a title fight. Let's say it is against Pantoja or Royval or something, you know, and then he loses. It's like, okay, now we're going to have to, like, kind of reset, you know, and it's like, you're just going to, Asu loses to Moreno, but now he beats 2 other guys, now he's at a title fight. You know what I mean? It's still...
Counterpoint. That's who I wanted Amir to fight next.
So, honestly, I know with you saying Tyra, like, taking that loss to Royval and taking a step back, I do
Amir would also be a good one in that.
Exactly.
Like, the 3 people that I were thinking were Asu, Tyra, and then potentially Perez if he comes back from injury, just because it's like, it is a step down. Yes, he doesn't really deserve to be fighting up, but at the same time, it's like,
just one of those
again,
things.
flyweight is just so hard to do.
So the thing with Amir is that I know he's technically ranked above Tyra, but I would still say it's a step back from the other guys in the top, because it's like, he just lost to Royval, looking at Moreno, Kai Kara France, like, those are guys that have been around for a long time, that have maintained their top position. Moreno being a former champion, you know what I mean? Amir got into the top 5 off of that split decision win over Kai Kara France. He just lost to Moreno, you know what I mean? Like, I would say that he's a step down from them, and that is a safer fight. You know, I didn't necessarily mean like lower in the rankings, just lower in competition. You know,
because it's like was saying that, like, Tyra got to step up against Royval, and he got beat the fuck up in that fight. But it's a very different beating than what Amir just took against Moreno. Amir got shut down by Moreno, and on 2 of the judges' scorecards didn't win a single round. Tyra won 2 rounds against Royval, and he only one more round, and he could have gotten that fight. You know what I mean? Like, it.
And stylistically, this is really fun fight, because they're both really good grapplers. One of them being more of an offensive wrestler, the other one being the submission specialist. Like, it is a really fun fight in that aspect.
Exactly. And then with, like, Tyra struggling on the feet with Royval, it's like, obviously Amir is good on the feet as well, but he doesn't have the same kind of pressure and the same kind of volume that Royval does. So I feel like that's going to give Tyra way more ability to maneuver through what Albazi has on the feet, you know? So
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I feel like that would definitely be just a decent, good way to go about it, because then it's like, because if you do Moreno versus Asu, and then, you know, like Tyra Albazi, Royval is gonna get the winner of the title fight, and then you give Kai Kara France the loser of the title fight, and then, you know, like, it just, I feel like that can help the division start moving a decent order.
I see what you're saying.
The only thing that sucks, I guess not so much, because Amir is 31, because what I was going to say is that it's like, you have these 2 contenders, and it's like, you have them fight now, and then as they move up, it'll just be more rematches and more things throughout it, because when Tyra lost, I remember thinking that, like, a good fight for him would be Manel Kape. And I kind of have the same thought for Amir Albazi as well. You know what I mean? Like, which is hard, because obviously both of them can't fight him. But like,
and you know, he's fighting Bruno Silva too, so it's just like, he could easily lose, and now you got Bruno up in the mix. You know what I mean?
And that was the other part I was gonna bring up, is the other reason it's so hard to do flyweight, like, going from, like, top down, from Royval downward, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, lost in his last one. That's all the way down to Tim fucking Elliott. Like, that, it's just so many people are coming off losses. It's like, it's so hard to matchmake this at the moment because of all of that. Like, hell, Manel Kape versus Steve Erceg is an interesting fight. I find that fun. I think Erceg probably beats the fuck out of him.
All right, fine. Like, we do Tyra Albazi, Erceg, Manel, everything you said. Hopefully flyweight, just, like, you know, more contenders start coming in and shit just starts to fix itself, because, like, I feel like it is kind of inevitable that we'll keep up the streak of rematches and certain things until things start to actually flow at a decent pace.
Exactly. And because I was going to say, I feel like one of the problems with why we're in that position is so many is, you have to think about it. All of these people that are at the top of the division and, like, are fighting each other in 2-3 times over now, they all came in from that season of The Ultimate Fighter when they were trying to pump in new people, and it just so happened that they all came in young, and were also some of the actual best fighters in that division in the world.
All
so it's like,
the champions.
Yeah, so it's, you know what I mean? It's like with what is it with like, you know, Albazi coming into the mix and now losing, and like, you know, like Steve Ursig, like, you know, we love him coming up and losing. It's like we don't necessarily know how many of these guys are going to stay at the top. It's one of those things where people come and go so quickly all the time. It's very difficult to hang around the top for years and years over. So like, it's, you know, if all of these guys continue to stay at the top, then it's like, well, shit, yeah, it's just one of those things. But you know what I mean? It's very easy that guys are just starting to just drop off, and now, you know what I mean, we're just left with whoever, you know what I mean? But yeah, so just have to see how flyweight plays out, but it's just so much fun, man.
And even speaking of the top 15, like, still with like that season of The Ultimate Fighter, Tim Elliott's still within the top 15 of the division coming off that season. Like,
yeah, exactly. We have so many people that like Moreno, Pantoja, Kai Kara France, Tim Elliott, like 4 guys. That's, you know, like
in the top 15.
Yeah. That's a quarter of the season from over 10 years ago or something. And
bro, that's so crazy.
Yeah, and you literally have 3 of them in the top 5 and 1 in the top 10. Or I think he just got bumped out of the top 10. So, top 15. It's like, it's crazy, man. Like,
so
either way, though, great
fun,
fight.
Though, like,
Flyweight's amazing. But to stay in the flyweight division,
never mind. I thought we missed. No, good.
I gotcha.
I fuck up.
But staying on the flyweight side, going over to the female end of it, though, that was in the co-main event. Erin Blanchfield taking on Rose Namajunas, 5-round co-main event, and we definitely got a few questions answered in this one for sure.
Yes.
Erin Blanchfield gets the unanimous decision win over Rose Namajunas. I feel like this was just another clear fight to kind of show that Rose just cannot hang at the top of 125 pounds like she could at 115 pounds.
Yeah.
Because it's, I'm sorry, it's like, you know, just real quick, it's like she's now has 4 fights in the division. She has 2 wins and 2 losses. Her 2 wins, Amanda Hebos, Tracy Cortez, Tracy also being on short notice, and then her losses, Erin Blanchfield now, and Manon Fiorot. There is a clear separation in talent and where these people are in the division. And with just how Rose has lost in the 2 losses now, I don't know what adjustment she could potentially make in her career that would ever really just make up the difference. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like she's a bit too small and just not physical enough, doesn't have the same cardio at 125 pounds. It's one of those things where it's, you know, like, obviously fighters get older and, you know, like, sometimes they just gotta move up and stuff. But there are some times where fighters are in a division for a reason and they just stay there for their entire career because that is just where their body is at.
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly Rose was feeling that she thought she had to move up to 125 pounds and, you know, was done with the division, but if she is looking for the same sort of success that she had at the peak of her career, she has to move back down to 115 pounds.
I can see where you're coming from with that. I do think that might be the solution, is maybe that. I also just think she should drop, how am I forgetting? Pat Barry as her head fucking coach. He can be a good striking coach. He can be like a good assistant.
Yeah.
He should not be your head coach. Every time I've seen you fight and you've had a game plan that was from him, you have lost. And it's
the last 2 fights.
No, I know.
No,
I know. But like, again, that's against a lower level of competition than her last 2 losses. Like, and it's just like, so there's obviously so it could be a bit of a talent and a bit of just game plan being wrong. Because also, like, to be fair, like, where you really see like where Erin took the fight over was in the 3rd round once she got the takedown.
Yeah.
Once she got the takedown, got the control, that's when the fight changed because she was able to just put pressure on Rose, and Rose was trying to counter but wasn't like being extremely effective with it. She was missing a lot of like strikes you'd normally hit. And I think it was because of the threat of the takedown.
Yeah. See, I just feel like because when she was getting a lot of it was Erin was controlling her a lot on the ground. Her pressure was too much. And like it was really surprising to watch Rose not use her jiu-jitsu, but that with it being towards the back half of the fight, rounds 3, 4, and 5, and just watching her not do it, it's like, yeah, I wonder if she just wasn't physically strong enough to deal with Erin's physicality there and just like her strength in the grappling. And just, yeah, if she was just simply too tired to actually get things off, you know what I mean? Obviously not exhausted, hands on the cage, taking deep breaths, but it's like grappling just being a different cardio with Erin's strength in the grappling, it being towards the later half of the fight. I wonder if, to Jimmy's point, with her being, even though she's technically a bit taller, you know what I mean? Like just her not being the right size for that weight class though, like in her own physique. I wonder if it just gave her, I wonder if it just gave her issues because she just wasn't doing anything. And we all know she has jujitsu.
Yeah.
Like,
because that's the thing. It's like, because coming into this fight, the whole thing of why I hated this fight so much for Erin Blanchfield is because Rose is a great mover on the feet and she has crisp technical striking. That showed easily round 1 and 2. Like, Erin was struggling rounds 1 and 2 with Rose the same way she did with Manon Fiorot. Round 3, like you said, was the turning point. Rose went in for a grappling exchange, and then Erin was able to, like, get her down, hold her the entire round. To your point, like, Rose didn't do anything on the bottom, which was extremely surprising. Well, but all she did was, like, she was holding onto Erin super tight.
That's what I was just going to say, is in the third round, the one thing that she did do was she held. She didn't want Erin to be able to do anything to her, so she put in a lot of effort to wrapping up her leg, because she had the, like, kind of like a lock on her leg that she was squeezing, and then over her head and squeezing her down. Like, she was using her body to hold her in place.
Yeah, which it's like, it wasn't the most, but it's like 4 and 5, she was noticeably more tired than in the first 3 rounds, and that's where it's like once she started to slow down, now Erin putting on that pressure and just rushing forward and just throwing a whole bunch of shots that aren't technical, aren't that good, whatever, that's when it was starting to find the success, once Rose started to slow down. Because if Rose had the cardio to do what she did in 4 and 5 and 1 and 2, that would have been just like the, you know, like the first fight, or I mean the main event, where it was just like, okay, yeah, like 4 or 5 rounds to Rose, that, like, yeah, Erin held her round 3, but okay, like, she wasn't able to do shit other than that. It was really just like, yeah, Rose just cannot hang over the distance in this weight class, man.
Because then
like,
it was going from round 3 into 4. I remember when they showed them both, like, sitting down, like, in the corners too. Rose just over there, she's taking deep breaths, she's looking tired, and then they go to Erin and her coach is talking to her, whatever, she's okay, you know what I mean, just there answering fine, like no deep breaths, like she looked good, as to where you could tell that round weighed on Rose, like.
And I will say this, like, it might have just been the fact that she wasn't like throwing with the same intensity or throwing with the same like quickness that we would expect from Rose, but like in the fourth round, that was when she threw her most strikes. So like she just was missing. Like that's the thing. She was missing. She was just throwing stuff out there to try and keep back Blanchfield up, because Blanchfield was able to just put boxing type pressure on her because of the threat of the takedown, and was just able to push forward, and because Blanchfield made that switch into the fourth round, throws 93 fucking significant strikes.
Yeah, she was just spamming shots out there.
She was just going. And then in the fifth, she got the takedown. And, you know, there was less significant strikes, but more total strikes, because she controlled her for pretty much the whole fucking round. So it's just like that. Which I will say this, to come down from 2-0 going into that third round, to be able to get to that takedown, and then like reverse the whole complexion of that fight, shows that Erin Blanchfield does have like the heart and mind of a champion.
Hell yeah, because what I was gonna bring up was like, it made me tear up a little bit for her, like just listening to her speak, because you heard when she got the decision, or not even heard, but like you watched her audibly just be like, oh holy fuck, you know what I mean? And then like when they were talking to her, just asking her like about being emotional, and she's just like, man, like, you know, I thought that I won the last 3, but you never really know. DC, like, you know, where did that come from? Like that extra pressure and push? And she's like, it came from here, it came from my heart. Like, and just
and because that's the thing with like the toughness and like determination and everything. Like I knew she had that with the loss to Manon Fiorot, because
all she did was run forward for 5 rounds. Exactly. She never gave up on herself. Are you kidding me?
More and more damage, and just like I'm walking forward into all of this so I can just attempt to get it to my realm.
Yeah, she don't give up. That's for sure.
Like so, she has that for sure. But that's
one of those things that can easily play against you.
No, exactly.
And it can easily play against you. But not only that, but like it's now like if like. It's one of those things where, okay, she took that loss in that last one, and it's like, she kept pushing forward. But if she's feeling the same thing she started to feel in that fight, potentially just like starting to just weigh on her and just like start to have just like those random thoughts of just, I'm not winning, I'm not doing the right thing, I'm not, it's not so much that I'm saying like, it was just showed that she was able to redial back in completely and just stay dialed in for the whole 25-minute fight, no matter what was going on, because she just completely flipped a switch in that 4th fucking round.
No, 100%. So it's like with that, it's just so hard because this is obviously the best win for sure on the record and resume of Erin Blanchfield. There's no doubt about that.
Yes.
Just it's crazy of just like at this point having now 2 wins over former champions at 115 pounds and Jessica Andrade and Rose Namajunas. Like that's just pretty damn incredible. I do think that all of the problems that she struggled with Manon Fiorot, that she still has to work on all of those things.
Yes.
And it just all depends on how things... Like, Manon is older, so who knows how long she's going to hang around. Valentina Shevchenko is also older, so who knows how long she hangs around. I think those 2 women are going to give Erin Blanchfield problems, and I don't know if she can beat them. I mean, with her being 25, give it 2, 3, 4, you know what I mean? Like, for her to start to actually get into her prime, and then that's going to be different. But I feel like other than them, like until like when they retire, the only person I see giving her problems, and I cannot wait for this fight to happen because it will happen one day, is Natalia Silva.
Yes.
Oh, Natalia can fight on the back foot with such fast, devastating kicks so easily. That is something where, like, giving the kicks to Blanchfield with the takedowns can obviously be threatening and be a problem. But, like, that is the toughest fight for Erin Blanchfield moving ahead if she doesn't get an opportunity at Valentina or Manon Fiorot again,
Yeah.
No, yeah.
But she called out Alexa Grasso in her post-fight.
That fight eventually is going to happen, but she called out Grasso, and it's really the only, like, there's only maybe 2 fights in right now that make sense for her, and that's Grasso or that's Macy Barber. That's it.
So with that, I seen like, it was either MMA Junkie, ESPN, MMA, one of them post that Erin had called her out, and I seen like Alexa comment something along the lines of like, let's go, a bunch of fire emojis and whatever. So like, it seems like she's very down. I don't see why she wouldn't be. You know what I mean? Like, Erin, she just lost her belt. Erin's a top 5 contender. Like, there's literally
Manon is fighting for the belt. Like, literally, the next best person to fight for her is number 3.
Yeah. Exactly. That is definitely.
It makes sense for both of them. Like, so, that's when I do love when that happens too. When it just like pieces just fall together perfectly to where it's like, no, this fight makes sense for both these fighters. They both want to get back to a title shot, and
they're both seemingly down.
Sense.
So, with that fight though, I can see it kind of going a couple ways. Like, I'm definitely interested in it because obviously Alexa lost her last fight with Valentina via the grappling. If Erin can, but Alexa has grappling. Like, Valentina is just such a dominant fighter. Like, no matter what, just so well rounded. All of that like, if Erin is able to grapple fuck Alexa the same way that she was done by Valentina, it shows where her grappling level is actually at.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think that Alexa has really good boxing that could give Erin issues, but I think Erin's pressure will give Alexa issues. I don't know if Alexa will handle it as well as Manon did. You know what I mean? Like, so that fight is definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Like,
stylistically, this is such a good fight.
When it was saying that, like, of just, people that she's going to struggle against, I honestly totally forgot about Alexa Grasso in that scenario because that is, that former champ, that is definitely going to be a very tough fight. But I do think that's a very winnable fight for her, though, as well.
Like Alexa went fucking over an hour in total octagon time with Valentina, one of the greatest fighters, like women fighters, you know what I mean? There's no way she hasn't learned and just developed herself, even in like the loss, the draw, like whatever it is. There's no way that she didn't learn and improve and just take so much from that it's like, yeah, this is a great step up for Erin and Test, but she really needs to get that striking together. But either way, it's still interesting because of everything mentioned before.
Yeah, and for Rose, like I said, I feel like her best chances at doing something great is back at 115, but if she is staying at 125 pounds. Honestly, the thing that I would like to see next, and I feel like it's the fight that makes the most sense.
Caitlyn?
No. Caitlyn, I don't even know what is honestly going on with her. I kind of don't even see her in anything. I was going to say, run back the trilogy. I feel like it's about I feel like it's about time. Both of them, like with where they're at in their career, I feel like it makes sense to go back to it.
That's true.
Because I feel like they're never really gonna line up where the trilogy is gonna make sense at like the highest level, at like #1 contenders fight or for a championship or anything like that. So just a good fun fight, you know what I mean? I feel like that would just be good.
I was about to say they go back. They have a Brazil card that could easily be a featured bout, like 100%. So like, there's
you don't send Rose to Brazil to fight Jessica Andrade again. I do not accept that.
I mean, fair, but you know what I'm saying.
At strawweight, Jessica on a 2-fight win streak, but she just lost her last fight in Natalia Silva at flyweight. So
yeah, I definitely think that would be a lot of fun. Going on down the card though, featured bout was supposed to be Derek Lewis versus Denise. Gets canceled the day before the bout. Was very upset with that. That sucks. But we'll get to Denise later on. He's got some news. But the new future bout was absolutely meaningless fight, and it wasn't even that good of a fight at the end of it. So yeah, we're gonna go on and talk about Jasmine Jastovich.
No, time out. I have a stat for this.
Okay.
Because it is hilarious.
Okay.
Caio Machado.
Yes.
Is 0-3 in the UFC.
Yes. In
all 3 of his losses, he has landed 76 strikes.
No way.
That is really fucking funny.
I am not lying.
You're right. What the?
That's the.
And he's outstruck his opponent every time.
Yes.
76 to 49, 76 to 67, 76 to 39.
I needed that to be stated. I could not let that one go. I'm sorry,
glad that you did. That's incredible.
I loves numbers, and that is absolutely incredible.
It is a wacky stat for a wacky division.
Bro, and that's crazy too, because it's like, this is, like, after it's updated and everything, like, this isn't night of them saying, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Bro, 0-3 in the UFC, and you've landed 76 significant strikes in every single one. That's incredible. Wow.
Yes,
he deserves an award for that, I feel like.
For real.
That's definitely something where if MMA On Point catches that when they do their little wrap-up of a card, it's not a pay-per-view, so they won't do that, but they would give them a little award for that. But
our consistency award.
Yeah. It's so fucking funny. Oh my god. What did you find that you're laughing at?
Nothing. I read it wrong because I saw 184 of 76 and then 183. 76 of 184 and then 76 of 183, and I was like, yo, no way, but I read it wrong.
Oh, I gotcha.
It was the other guy.
But yeah, no.
Gotcha.
I was like, also like, okay, because when I looked this up, because I saw it, I'm like, wait a minute, no way. When I saw like, oh, that's where he came from. He came from the Contender Series in that fight. I said he shouldn't have gotten a contract for it because the other guy didn't do shit. That's right. I knew he wasn't going to do shit in the UFC.
Yeah, it happened. Going on down to Jasmine Jastovicius, though. She got another win last night. Got a Darce choke in the 3rd round. That was very nice to see.
Yeah.
It was 3rd round going. I was like, okay, Jasmine's like cruising her way to decision win here. She's definitely get it done. And then she was able to pull out the submission. Very nice for her. Got herself $50,000 performance bonus as well.
2nd Darce choke in the UFC.
Nice.
What, for her?
For her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Sorry. No, my bad.
I was like, that's just impossible.
Her 2nd Darce choke.
I know Michael Chiesa has been Darce choked 3 times in the UFC.
No.
He's lost 3 times via Darce.
No. Her 2nd Darce choke. My bad.
Gotcha. Very nice for her.
We had the Darce Knight, Kyle Dawkins, in the UFC. How is that possible?
But, both 3rd round Darce chokes as well. got performance bonuses in both of them as also.
Yep.
So yeah, very nice for her. 3-fight winning streak this year with 2 of them being those Darce choke finishes. Just cementing herself as a top 15 contender for sure at 125 pounds. It's just one of those people where it's like I never really think too much about like where she's gonna go next or what she's doing. I'm just always down to see her in whatever fight because she's just fun. But she's really at the point where it's like where the fuck does Jasmine go next? You know what I mean?
So I was looking this up earlier because I decided to like do something, and literally all the people immediately above her up until Jessica Andrade are booked in fights.
Very nice.
So it's like literally we either have to
Viviane are fighting each other.
So we literally have to wait until those fights conclude, or she fights Jessica.
Tracy's booked?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. She's fighting Miranda Maverick.
I was gonna say, aren't they running back the Miranda fight?
Okay.
And she did just fight her and lose to her last year.
Yeah, it's definitely hard, but probably winner of Tracy Miranda Maverick, you think?
Yeah.
For Jasmine?
Yeah, I don't mind it.
One of those things where it's like not going to be the biggest step up, but it's just it's hard. Like she doesn't have the biggest name, so she's not going to get like the biggest push or anything. But you know what I mean.
Who's on your show fighting?
Who?
Silva?
Viviane? Yeah, she's fighting Karine.
I mean, you could do the loser of that fight as well. Yeah,
that either way, definitely just another fighter in the rankings above her. That's definitely what she deserves. And it's like, she gets 1 or 2 more in a row going on a 4 or 5 fight winning streak, then it's really going to be like, all right, it started moving towards title contention, you know what I mean? So just good for her, man. Love to see it. Next fight on the main card. Boy, oh boy. Oh boy, did I not. Oh my God.
The first Canadian to talk about dropping the ball.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Marc-Andre Barriault. This was like, we were just like, okay, Mark, they're setting him up to get a first-round knockout in Canada. Very nice for him. Moving on. You know what I mean? That was basically the gist of the preview. And he gets taken down, and it was just like, yo, are you gonna?
He slipped. Then was controlled on the ground.
Yeah, and then like Dustin had the submission attempt. I forget what exactly it was locked in, but it was like, bro, you're really gonna shit the bed like this. And then he gets back up, and then they start fucking swinging, and it was like, okay, this is how it's supposed to go. And then, oh my God, he just gets slept absolutely viciously. That was just God damn
by the right hook.
Crazy.
He was out cold from the right hook. There was no need for ground strikes at all in that fight.
Yeah,
just Dustin Stoltzfus got himself a performance bonus for that.
Yeah, definitely deserving for sure. That's
no fight of the night's just 4 performance bonuses on the card.
Yep.
No, deserved. He's now 3-2 in his last 5. He's traded wins and losses.
Yeah, 3 and 5 overall.
So but starting to put it together a little bit better, at least like you said, 3-2 in the last 5. So,
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him against like an Image Shabazian.
Yeah, anything
like that just seems like a fun fight.
Yeah, someone's getting knocked the fuck out for sure.
Yep.
But so good for Dustin in that one. Last fight on the main card, the one to open it up, Mike Malott taking on Trevin Giles. I really thought Trevin Giles was gonna be able to come out here in Canada and just really outclass Mike Malott over the 3 rounds. Just especially after that loss from Neil Magny in the last one with Mike Malott. I was like, all right, he's not doing shit in this division.
I didn't think that at all.
But
I didn't think that Trevin Giles was gonna win at all.
I thought Trevin would be able to win, but like he came out so fucking tentative. It's like not even funny how like just nonchalant.
He keeps getting finished. This is the first time he lost by decision, I think.
Like it is.
First decision loss in the
So Mike Malott
in his career. Yep. Been knocked out 3 times, sub 3 times. This was his first decision.
Yeah, no, he just wasn't doing shit.
Yeah.
He wasn't throwing, he wasn't like going for takedowns, he wasn't trying like that, he just didn't do anything. And so like and then like he had Mike Mott who was, pushing forward, striking. He damn near had a 33 he damn near for head, body, leg went 33, 33, 33. It was 37, 32, 30, but that mix-up is like insane for a fighter in MMA.
That's super good to just obviously the more you're just being diverse with your striking, the better it's gonna be. It's gonna allow you to land more because you're giving them more looks and everything. So it's definitely just a very good decision win for Mike Malott getting back on the winning track after that rough loss to Neil Magny. But yeah, that is the main card of Canada. We did have some pretty solid performances on the prelims. Ginger, we could start with you today. What's the biggest performance on the prelims that you want to get into? What did you love?
The biggest performance and the one that I got proven right on was Eamon Zahabi beating Pedro Munoz. And beating him in pretty easy fashion.
Yeah.
Like, he did not struggle in that fight, did not need the grappling. His jab was on point, and he was just able to just come in, jab, 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 straight, jab, and just be able to just keep Pedro just from being able to get into his game, even though Pedro, like, threw 327 significant strikes, couldn't land even 30% of them. Pedro and Eamon Zahabi was able to land 52% of his significant strikes.
Yeah, he really did just show, like, just levels above Pedro at this point in his career. Like, that really was a very good, solid performance from Eamon Zahabi. I know he's on the older side, 36 years old, but possibly top 15 opponent next. Really, it's kind of hard to beat Pedro Munoz, especially like that, and not get a top 15 opponent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like they'll probably give him to like Montel Jackson or something. You know?
Very possible.
Yeah, a Montel Jackson, maybe like. There's someone in the bottom of the division fighting Martinez.
Well, because it's like Martinez fighting, Phillips just lost, so like I don't know how quick they'll go to something like that. You know, Aldo's fighting. Or no, he just fought. Batista just fought. Rob just.
We're not going. They're not going
like,
that high.
Exactly. So it's like I just
Dominic
feel like
Cruz ain't fine. Get Dominic Cruz out of the fucking rankings.
I just feel like Montel Jackson got that quick ass knockout back in July. Eamon won pretty easily here. It's like, I just wouldn't be surprised that's what they go to.
Yeah. No, I think
definitely
that's
be a good one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Kate, what on the prelims did you really enjoy and you want to bring up?
I won't take away yours from you, so let's go Charles Air Jordan, because I think I'm the only one or I think Ginger did go him too. Jimmy didn't believe, but I believe that he could be the first person to finish Victor Henry, and he did. Second round guillotine choke. It was beautiful. Good for him getting the win in Canada.
Yeah.
Very happy.
Yeah, I also, in like the preview and everything talking about it, did not realize that this was his first fight going down to 135 pounds.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either.
And then...
I did.
And then, do Tapology picks and everything, and then, like, the fight's about to happen, and I realized that, and I was like, oh, he got knocked out 3 months ago for the first time, and he's going down a weight class now? I was like, he is losing for sure. Got extra confident with that, and boy, was I wrong. Yeah, just a great performance, man.
Yeah, looked good in the first round, just, like, outstriking him, got taken down, controlled for a little bit, but, like, was fine. Second round got taken down and was just able to wrap up that gilly, and, Victor had to tap.
Oh, yeah.
I also put Jordan by finish, but I had him as going for a TKO KO.
Yeah.
I think I also put that, but either way, I was just like, nah, he's getting him out of there.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, and he just did it in the way I was not expecting.
Super good. Improves to a beautiful even record in the UFC of 7 wins, 7 losses, 1 draw.
Yes.
But yeah, so just one of those things where, you never know just when someone might end up just being on just the bad end of just getting a couple losses and, you know what I mean, just getting cut or something. But it's like he's always fun, always putting on exciting performances. So saving himself from a 3-fight losing streak, he's more than likely going to be around for another lengthy contract.
He only goes on 1 to 2 fight losing streaks, okay?
Oh, yeah. It's just...
it is what it is, you know?
It just, if he lost this 3-fight losing streak, 6-8-1 in the UFC, you just never know, But, I'm pretty sure, 28 years old still. He's got plenty of time to work, so let's see what he's able to get done. And then, of course, for me, the one that I was most excited for on the prelims.
Yeah.
My motherfucking boy. He gets it done. Yusuf Zalal, second round arm triangle choke over Jack Shore. I knew he could get it done. Me and Kate got the perfect on Tapology with the second round submission.
Bro, that shit was beautiful.
Yeah, just looking so good round one. Just, like, was struggling a little bit early on. Jack, like, got him up against the cage and was holding him for a bit, and I had that quick moment of, like, yo, don't let this start here and just keep it, you know what I mean? But then he reversed it, started looking good, and then... Brother, the second round, I really thought Ginger was going to get the perfect because, like, 20 seconds into the round, he just lands a beautiful step-up knee right as Jack started to lower his level. Thought he was going to get it done, gets on top, a few punches, gives up the position, grabs the arm triangle, and that was it, man. Just beautiful. Absolutely amazing performance. Gets back into the UFC after getting cut. 3 wins in a row now, all submission wins. And just, afterwards saying that he knows that he's going to be a champ. He's putting in all the work every day to get there. And just saying that, like, Ilya knocking out Max, that was heartbreaking to watch. But he was like, hey, I fought Ilya. He's like, I know I'm going to be a champion one day. I'm going to make it there. So he looks completely rejuvenated on this run in the UFC. And it's I'm really expecting Yusuf Zalal to do some good things at featherweight.
Oh, yeah, because it's like when he came into the UFC, he was like 24, 25 years old, It's like it's only been a couple years with him 28, but like those couple years make a huge difference, just actually putting in the work to training, getting more experience. Shit, just even building up the fucking confidence because it's like, went on that 3-fight losing streak, had the draw with Damone, got cut, and then after that hasn't done anything but won. Yeah. He had 1 boxing fight, won that, 1 kickboxing fight, won that, but overall has won now 6 MMA fights, 3 of them being in the UFC.
Yep.
Like,
I was about to say, it's all about the mindset. Like, that's the biggest thing is like, when you get, like, you go on a 3-fight losing streak, have a draw, and then get cut, you're just like, I have shit I need to do. And you know what you need to do now. It's like, okay, I got there by doing this. All right, to stay there, I have to do fucking this.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad for it. I'm glad for Yusuf. Really happy for him. Hoping he gets top 15 opponent in his next one. I feel like he deserves it with his 3 wins in the UFC.
Oh, yeah. Because it's also like with, his first 3-fight win streak in the UFC, they were all decisions, and it's like Austin Lingo, Jordan Griffin, Peter Barrett, like not a great level of competition in all reality. You know what I mean? Then all that. But now this time, Billy Quarantillo, a very solid fighter. Jarno Aarons, that's whatever. But then like Jack Shore, another very solid prospect that was coming up, at bantamweight for a while. It's like a clear improvement of the level of competition this run, and now he's finishing in all of them. You know what I mean? It's absolutely.
And that's one thing the UFC loves.
Oh yeah,
is you finishing fights.
Yeah, and then just having moments on the mic afterwards too, like being a personality, having things to say. You know what I mean? Like, they were showing him his replay, and he's just laughing. Oh man, look at that! Like, you know what I mean?
That was
just
beautiful.
Excited. Yeah, like it. Yeah, love Yusuf, man. Let's go. Other than that, Alexander Romanov got a decision win on the prelims, right? Very nice.
He didn't look completely gassed after the first round.
He
was fairly gassed, but not completely.
Yeah. I feel like that's more of an indictment of like, okay, Nascimento should not be a top 15 fighter like that,
I mean, yes, but I've been saying that for a while now. But heavyweight is a very, very, very shallow division.
Yeah. But yeah,
that's Justin really off of there.
Yeah.
I didn't realize we had another 3 split decisions on this card.
Yeah, Sari City, after his split decision, when he said, like, in the post-fight, press conference, whatever, he was saying, like, the judges got it wrong. Like, I should not have won that fight.
Damn, that's like, crazy. I did not see that.
Yeah, he said, I don't feel like I won that fight. And I tend to agree with him. I had it 29-28 for Garrett Armfield. Like, I just, at the end of the fight, felt like Armfield had won.
Yeah. So, just, one of them things. Always rough leaving it in the hands of the judges. But let's go. Yeah. That is the UFC card from Canada. Tapology. Oh, we all did so terrible, but Kate gets it done out of the 3 of us coming in first place. Ginger coming in second, beating me by 5 points. This motherfucker. So close. The only good thing I had about that Tapology was Yusuf Zalal by second round sub getting that perfect. That's it.
I wish I got the perfect. Damn, like that would have put the cherry on top of me beating you at least.
Yeah, did get co-main and main event decisions, right? So I was kind of happy with that as well.
Yeah, I got 3 decisions correct, so.
Yeah, I got the co-main wrong.
Gibson City, And where the fuck?
Moreno.
Oh, Moreno, duh.
Yeah. Very
Zalal,
nice.
perfect. Yeah.
Let's go. That's Tapology, though.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the year, we'll reveal the overall results of how all of us have done, you know. Yo, you fucking changing it to Blob? What the fuck? That's crazy. All right, on to some fight news, though, because, boy, we got some big shit going on.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am so incredibly disappointed. Not only because my boy Shavkat Rakhmonov is not getting his opportunity at the undisputed welterweight title at the end of this year, but I had him on my draft. He has yet to fight, and now he's probably not going to fight. I'm losing that potential point. So sad. But, yeah. Motherfucking Belal Muhammad, he is out of the main event, UFC 310, December. That fucking foot was just absolutely destroyed. A nasty bone infection in the toe.
Yeah.
I brought it up to Kate like we were talking about a little bit, but it's like it's just so funny all the people that are like bringing up of like him talking shit to Connor for pulling out for the toe injury, and now
these
like,
are completely different situations.
A broken pinky toe that is like already like on the process of recovering and everything like that is completely different from a bone infection. Like
yes.
Fighting with a broken pinky toe and like not treating it is pain. Not treating a bone infection and proceeding to fight with it and going through camp and whatever the fuck is potentially losing a toe to your foot. Or going sepsis and just getting a blood infection at that point because the infection has spread. Like, there are so many things that could go wrong with that you can't let it go untreated to fight.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
They're fucking. People are fucking insane. They don't understand what the actual. Yeah, no. People don't actually understand. People just hate Belal with a fiery passion, and it's just like clouding their actual mind.
People also just super don't understand like the depths of medical issues sometimes, and that you can't just push it aside, and that like, some medical issues are different than medical issues. That a broken toe and a bone infection in the same area are not the same things. Like.
A bone infection requires medicine, potentially surgery, all these other things, antibiotics. You know how you fix a broken pinky toe? You wait for it to heal. You don't get surgery, you don't do any of that. Like, it's literally just waiting for it to heal.
Right, unless you go fuck up and make it worse because you're still doing things, then maybe you'll need surgery, but it's like...
Yeah,
it's like, that's depending on
broken
severity.
Pinky toe,
but it's like, at that point, like you said, just resetting it and shit, like, it's not...
They don't put, like, you don't get a cast or anything for a broken pinky toe.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, because it's like Belal did say, Shavkat obviously looking for an interim title. He's like, I'll still fight. I'll fight anybody who's up to take it. Belal talking about, bro, I'm out for 6 weeks. Like, there's no reason for this. Because with that, it's like, with it being an infection and not an injury, it does heal quicker. It's not like he has to wait for the bone to heal and all of these things, and you can't fight for this long, and it's going to take months. It's like he has to wait for the antibiotics to run its course. Obviously, it has to heal a little bit, but it's not going to take super long. So do you think they should wait, or would you like for somebody to step in?
It just all depends on what, because, like, there could be something else that happens. Like, that's the other problem with, like, instead of an injury, it being an infection, is things can go wrong, the antibiotics don't take for whatever reason. It just, like, there are so many things that could happen with it that I would rather it almost be, like, interim, and then he fights in, like, you know, April, May, just to be 100. Like, this is more of a health thing than anything, but, like, with an infection like that, a bone infection at that, like, I think it should be, like, no, prioritize and make sure, like, no, this actually gets fucking healed before saying, oh, I'm only out for 6 weeks. Well, because then all of a sudden, like, a medicine doesn't take or something else happens, you know.
Because what I was thinking is, like, never mind. I don't know why I keep wanting to think Saudi's a fucking pay-per-view. I just feel like it should be. Never mind.
So, like, because it's one of those things where, like, I get Belal's point where it's like, I'm not out for that long. Like, there's no need for an interim title. And
but it's like when you can get it booked and everything.
And it's like, I know a lot of people hate interim titles. I, myself, in a lot of cases, like, it depends. When the UFC is, like, you know, Cyril Gane versus Derek Lewis for the interim title, that's different because it's like, Francis defended his title like 3 months before that. He said he wasn't ready for like July and he was ready for August, September, and they're like, well, no, now we're gonna do this. That's clear, like trying to put pressure on the champion, doing like the certain things. But it's like if they're in the mindset of, oh well, we just need a better title to like headline an event or whatever, so then they do that, and then it's just like, okay, well now we're just gonna have a unification, and it doesn't really matter. Then I always love that because now the challenger for the belt, for like the undisputed belt, now gets pay-per-view points going into that undisputed title fight. So I'm always a fan of that.
Yes. The thing is that if somebody were to step in, the only fight I kind of want to see for this interim title is Shavkat versus Usman. The reason why is because obviously, like everyone talking about, they want Shavkat JDM. Yeah. And I totally understand that. I also want that fight so bad. But not enough respect is put on the interim title that I feel like if we're just getting that a bit too early. Yeah. You know what I mean? So many people talking about Shavkat like, oh, his best win is Wonder Boy. Okay, make his best win fucking Usman. I know he's on a 3-fight losing streak, but his last fight being up a weight class 5 days notice against Habzat shouldn't be held against him. He is a former champion, easily the second best champion that the division has had. It's like, with that, give it to him. You know what I mean? Like, he took that.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, but like it's like if anyone's gonna take a short notice, it is Usman. So with like JDM on the flip side, I want to see him take that at his best. Full fight camp, full notice. I know that there's like a little over a month on it, but I want that fight at 100%, both of them fully prepared for each other with the highest stakes on the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let Usman be the ultimate G, and after dropping 2 straight title fights in his division, taking short notice fights against undefeated Hamza and undefeated Shavkat. That is the fucking ultimate. Bro, that is one of those things where if he takes it, it's like anytime I see someone talk shit about him, I'ma just get angry. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be able to help it. I'm just gonna get angry.
But also, I just love this revisionist history. Since when have we ever said, "Oh, his best win is just Wonder Boy"?
Oh, I've seen.
He's the first one who submitted Wonder Boy.
Yeah, not us, but I have seen that retort going around a lot, especially the further we get away, because it's like since that Wonder Boy win, Wonder Boy has now been knocked out by Joaquim. He's getting older. It's like the further separated from it, the more shit that they're going to talk. And the worse, I don't want to say the worse Wonder Boy gets, but the older he gets and the more losses he takes, the more the shit they're going to talk. You know what I mean? I have seen so many people saying like, oh, his best win is just Wonder Boy. You know, so it's like, let his best win be Usman. Let his best win be former champion.
The problem is, they're going to say like, oh, his best win is 3 losses in a row.
No, people are always going to talk shit, but it's like undeniably a better name than Wonder Boy. Yes, like that is 100%. Just a fact. Yeah. So now let's say he beats Belal and then he defends against whoever. Now you can't talk shit. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things where obviously people are going to talk shit either way. You can now talk shit for a different reason that Usman's on this streak, whatever. But just going back to the point that I want Shavkat versus Jack at just full notice, full camp, full preparation for each other.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. I would love that to happen.
All right, so then let's get Jack versus Leon for Australia.
Sure.
That would work perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go. So yeah, we'll see what the UFC decides to go with that. Definitely did short notice pay-per-view main event. Things can get wacky. You know what I mean? You never know what rabbit they're gonna pull out of the hat. It's like, bro, all we need is the result of Jones-Stipe, and it could be Tom versus Poatan on short notice for that event. You know what I mean? Like, that is literally, in the mix of things that could happen.
Right, because I saw, the potential of Poatan versus Magomed, and then when I saw them saying that it's not happening, they're not talking about that fight.
Yeah.
So then what fight are you talking about? Because you're not saying you're not talking about Poatan or Magomed. You're saying you're not talking about that fight. So if they are waiting on that, then there's that.
Exactly.
And then me and Jimmy have even talked about it where it's like, what 2 guys would always fight, especially if you slap an interim title on it, just for the reasons of Jimmy saying, like, we need a bigger fight, let's just do this. Diego Lopez and Alex Volkanovski.
Yeah.
Which I also wouldn't mind, because then that kind of cuts out the Volk rematch and lets things move smoother. I understand that Volk deserves it, but if he loses to Diego for the interim, then we just throw Diego into it.
Exactly.
And then Movzar gets the win over Aljo, and then Movzar is next. It's just a beautiful thing.
And it's like if Volk wins, now Diego's not a title contender, and you know what I mean? So
exactly.
I just found this was updated from 2 hours ago, so like this is very new. Meanwhile, Pereira might take some time off after suffering significant hand injury against Roundtree.
Oh yeah, I saw him saying that his hand still hurts from punching Khalil.
So
okay.
So more than likely he's not. I don't think. He thinks his hand may be broken, so he may be out for a while. So
we'll see
if that's true. Then we're definitely not getting
for sure.
them at that point.
But yeah. Let's see how all of that plays out, though. Super excited to see what happens in the next few weeks. Big main event announced for UFC Tampa, December 14th. Ian Machado Gary, undefeated, taking on Joaquin Buckley, as Kate mentioned before, coming off his knockout win over Wonderboy. I'm pretty surprised that Ian ended up taking this fight. I mean, he said that everyone above him is either booked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Buckley is basically the highest-ranked guy that he can get a fight with right now, that he said.
He's... Right.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? I love the fight. It is extremely interesting. Ian is way more technical on the feet, and, you know, I feel like a lot of people are going to be favoring him to just get it done, no problem. But Buckley is physical as a motherfucker. He's got real physical grappling that he's been using against many people in this division. I am so excited.
It has real power.
Yeah, man. So excited.
Yeah, since moving down to 170 on a 5-fight winning streak, 3 of those finishes, so...
Yeah. Looking real good. This is such a great fight to see who's going to be entering that top 5 with authority, you know?
This is an extremely good fight. I do love this fight. Like, but the only thing that I'm just wondering, the only thing is it's not on a pay-per-view, so they're not going to have a press conference. Because this press conference, I'm not going to lie, would be hilarious. Joaquin versus Ian.
Yeah. Oh, who knows? They might do a little thing in Florida for that. I wouldn't be surprised.
I hope, because they're definitely going to have interactions. They're going to...
I never realized how long Joaquin's arms are.
Yeah, he's got long ass arms. Right?
Yeah, because
78 or something like that. 77?
76, because it's like Ian Gary, 5 inches taller than him at 6'3" to 5'10", 2-inch reach disadvantage.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 74 to 76.
Yeah, man.
I feel like that put it into perspective. You know, I was like,
yeah, man. I'm so excited. We got a whole good amount of fights for UFC 311 announced, so let's go through all of those.
Yes.
Johnny Walker, he is back against Bogdan Guska. Oh my goodness, Johnny Walker's getting slept in this one, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Real sad. That's gonna be fireworks though for as long as that lasts. I'm excited. Carol Hoza, she is back taking on Eileen Perez. Eileen getting a nice step up in the division at 135 pounds.
Honestly, it could be fun.
Oh yeah,
Carol Hoza always down for a scrap. It's a big step up. Like Eileen might, it might be a rough night for her.
Oh yeah, for sure. I really am not sure if she's gonna get this done at all. In my head, right away, I'm favoring Carol Hoza, but yeah, we'll definitely see how that plays out. But that should be a good scrap. Another one that should probably be a good scrap on that card. Zachary Reese, he's back taking on Cedricus Dumas. Zachary Reese gonna fuck him up.
Probably.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Bro, he is so physical and he goes out there looking to finish you.
I remember watching.
I feel like Dumas is gonna be fucking just trying to shoot on him like crazy the entire time.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, Zach Reese has submission abilities, so
yeah.
Good luck.
So we'll see how that goes. And the last fight to bring up on UFC 311, great fight, great step up. Peyton Talbot, he is back taking on Hayani Barcelos. I love Hayani Barcelos. He's getting too old at 135 pounds, though. He is going to get slaughtered by Peyton Talbot.
Oh, yeah. 37 years old.
Yeah, very rough. But yeah, we'll see.
But they are building Talbot in a way that I do like. Like they are like slowly moving him up.
Yeah.
Into like bigger and bigger fights, bigger in terms of like the competition level and all that. So I do love seeing that.
For sure. Some more fights that we got announced though. February 1st, Saudi Arabia. what a great fight at heavyweight. Sergey Pavlovich taking on Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Bro, this is just one of those where it's like, man, I really don't know. Pavlovich on his way up, it would be like, okay, yeah, he's gonna smash through him probably no problem. But it's like he's been struggling a little bit lately. I am really not sure how this is gonna go. Obviously, Sergey's got that one-punch power. So does Jar Jar. I feel like Jairzinho is gonna be a bit more of the technical striker in there, but that could easily lead him to getting knocked out with trying to be too patient and just counter too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sergey by Francis Ngannou Zergrush.
I don't know. I don't think he
could you imagine that happens two times in a row?
I would be so sad.
Like, that would be so bad. Like, I'd be with you, but I'd be like, how?
Yeah.
How?
But yeah, if Jar Jar gets that done, he's really tossing himself right up into the top of the division again. So.
Oh yeah.
For sure. I just do think it's a rough fight for him. I kind of think Pavlovich about to end his losing streak here.
Very possible.
I
mean, I was going to say, I know it's going to end by knockout, but this could easily go the distance. I really would not be surprised if it ends up that way. Jairzinho is not afraid to go to the distance at heavyweight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's see how all of that plays out. Michael Johnson, he's back December 14th on that Tampa card, taking on Otman Azaitar. Bro, someone's getting knocked off. I will say, 155 pounds, Michael Johnson. More than likely, somebody's getting knocked out. He's fighting Otman Azaitar. Bro, kill or be killed. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
They're making that Tampa card real good to start right now. I'm real excited to see how it plays out.
I need to see the rest of this card. What is...
Because then, just another fight on that Tampa card as well. Gonna be real good. It's funny how it was supposed to be a completely different fight going on in Abu Dhabi, but one person pulls out, another person pulls out, and now we get a whole new fight in
because it was supposed to be Saeed and Daniel Santos.
Daniel Santos, that's who it is.
And then Saeed Daniel Marcos, and now Daniel Marcos and Adrian Yanez.
Yeah. Bro, I feel like this is going to be such a rough fight for Adrian Yanez. I'm really not sure if he gets it done.
Yeah.
It's rough. It is really rough. I will agree with that.
Adrian Yanez looks so good against a certain level of fighters.
Yes.
And then he goes up, gets finished and just dismantled by Rob Font last year.
Yep.
And then gets a leg kicked finished by Jonathan Martinez right after that. And then he goes out to knock out fucking at the 0-2 and now 0-3 Vinicius Salvador. You know what I mean? Like just very clear level difference there. And Daniel Marcos, he's only had 4 fights in the UFC, 3-0 and 1 no contest, but he looks really good in there. He has great striking, he has great pressure. He only has 1 finish, but he can go for 15 minutes looking solid throughout those whole 15.
Yep.
I don't know if Yanez is going to be able to go out there, do some spectacular shit, you know what I mean? Like,
funny enough, both Daniel Marcos and Adrian Yanez beating Davey Grant via split decision.
Very nice. But yeah, I feel like Daniel Marcos is probably going to look good. I wouldn't be surprised. And if he looks good being Yanez, top 15 opponent, no doubt.
It's his fight into the top 15 for sure.
So yeah, it's like we were talking about, all of these guys having 3 wins, and they're just about 1 win away, 1 good win, and we're starting to get there. Always very nice. Last 2 fights to bring up. Marcin Tybura, he's got a fight on MSG card, taking on Johanna Denise. Something like that. I always fuck up the first name.
Yeah.
But Denise, he was supposed to take on fight Derek Lewis on this card last weekend, but pulls out, so now he gets Tybura. I really don't know if Denise is gonna this is. I know people don't respect Tybura, but this is a bit of a harder step up for him, I feel like, than taking on Derek Lewis.
Yeah, it's a completely different stylistic matchup. Marcin Tybura is a very physical fighter, very grappling heavy at times. He could easily, even though he might not be getting the takedowns, he will push you up against the cage and he will try to grind it out. He will try to throw knees in there, throw elbows. He's gonna try and drag you down to the mat and just ground and pound you. This is such a different stylistic matchup. If anything, Derek Lewis is kind of not a layup per se, but stylistically is a much, much better matchup because he is straight up essentially a boxer.
Yeah. Definitely understand. But yeah, so we'll see how that plays out for Denise. UFC 310, Nate Landwehr versus Doo-Hoo Choi. Boy, oh boy, that's going to be a fun-ass fight. I am excited for that. That is a fucking prelim fight that is, like, almost guaranteed that it could steal fight of the night on any card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, super excited for that. And then the last little bit of thing to bring up, we got Tough announced season 33. We got flyweights and welterweights as the contenders. But, of course, the only thing to do for the coaches is you got to do Money Moicano and Patty Pimblett, you know?
Yeah, like, they need to announce that because who else? Who
no
else would make it fun?
There's no one.
Nobody.
That's it.
We literally tried when they were talking about this, and it was just like, who the fuck do you even do?
It's like,
besides those, it's those two.
Yeah, they have great personalities. They're gonna talk shit. They're gonna make it fun. They're gonna have fun interactions. Like, it could be their first fun season in so long.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully they do the right thing and we can get a fun season. But let's go. That is all the fights and all of the news to talk about for this episode of the podcast. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will catch you on the. Peace.
Yay.